After everything he's done, how can I possibly live up to all that?
Who says you have to? You don't have to be the greatest Omni-Man ever. You just have to be the greatest you.
And what if the greatest me isn't enough?
What if that's true? What if being yourself, even your greatest self, isn't good enough? What do you do with that? I mean, nobody tells you. Nobody gives you any further explanation other than, bro, be yourself. That's all it takes. For career, for relationships, for life in general. But life's much scarier than that. Putting your real self on the line, it opens you up to the possibility of getting hurt in ways you've never been hurt before. And the fear that holds us back from being ourselves, that keeps us in a shallow world. It's the ego protecting us, telling us that we have to hide our true selves, that we have to reach a certain status before we can relax, that we have something to live up to. The same goes for Mark. Nobody other than his dad can really guide him into this role of being a superhero. And spoiler alert for season 1, but when his dad turns out to be his enemy, that doesn't go so well.
I can always start again. Make another kid.
And he finds out that, okay, I'm not good enough. In fact, his whole worldview comes crashing down with the realization that this role model he was so desperately trying to be like wasn't who he wanted to be at all. And choosing to be himself in that moment to oppose his father gets him hurt in ways he's never been hurt before. Physically, emotionally, psychologically, and by one of the people who was closest to him. Now, no further spoilers for Invincible, because that's not the point of this video, but let's just say that Mark has to fight himself continuously in order to become his greater self. And that's kind of the point. Being yourself is enough, but not in the way that we've been trained to think. Being yourself exposes your weaknesses, puts you face to face with your flaws, and that's the way that you're going to be able to actually transcend them. You're gonna be like, okay, I don't like that about myself. Why don't I take steps forward to actually become better? That's the paradox. Because while you're doing these things, while you're actually taking steps to improve, being yourself does not feel like enough, but it's propelling you forward, even when you're in the thick of it. Take my boy Poe, for example. He didn't ask to be the Dragon Warrior, and he ended up in that role anyway. So he shows up on his first day, and what happens? He gets absolutely smoked by everyone, and heavily insulted by Tigress and Master Shifu. It begs the question, why is he even doing this? The viewer knows, but nobody else knows. They look at him and they think, why isn't he quitting? He could have a stable, secure life with his father just making noodles. But he stayed. He stayed because...
Every time you threw a brick at my head, or said I smelled, it hurt. But it could never hurt more than it did every day of my life just being me. I stayed because I thought if anyone could change me, could make me not me, it was you.
As we expose the parts of ourselves that we don't like, we start asking ourselves that question. How can I be less like me? Except that's not really the question we want to be asking. I mean, Poe thinks that he has to not be himself, but when he finally gets the Dragon Scroll, what does it show him? That he's the secret ingredient this whole time, that he's the only one who can take that decision for himself. He's responsible for himself. He makes himself worthy. He makes himself strong. He makes himself the Dragon Warrior. And it's so easy to fall into a trap of thinking that somebody else needs to mold you. I mean, look at me. Recently, I lost a connection that was very dear to me. I had opened myself up, truly, being myself, and I was in a committed relationship with someone. And at first, everything was perfect. I mean, he accepted me for who I was, and I was learning how to relax, how to lean into myself, how to trust my own feelings. But somewhere along the way, I lost sight of all the progress I made because I started to be confronted with all the parts of me that I didn't like. And rather than use that to shift, I got stuck in this cycle of worrying, of being anxious. I looked at all the parts of myself that I didn't have together and I hated it. I just wanted to change. I wanted to be different. And I started putting that burden on my partner. No partner should have to deal with the burden of their significant other not knowing how to be themselves and step into their own agency. I mean, being supportive is one thing, but I was truly relying on this person to make me not me. The way that Po was thinking that Master Shifu was the answer to all his problems. Obviously, you can imagine how that went. Not well. And resentment started to build up. We self-sabotaged the relationship. Extreme, and his lesson is learned at a hard cost in the end, but I think the most profound part of it is really this idea that at that lowest point where you feel like fading away, that's when that instinct kicks in. You don't really want to give up now. No, you want to come out stronger. You want to put yourself back on track. Not even back on track, but perhaps even on a new track. One undeniable truth that I've come to understand in my personal journey is that your biggest transformation is going to stem from that moment. It's going to look like shit, but you need everything to flow in order to actually go somewhere. As human beings, our experience in this world is ever changing and ever evolving. We are not meant to be stagnant. So even though our brains are wired to not like change and they're wired to view the negative and pinpoint that, that's not who we're meant to be. The more I sit down with myself and tell myself to stay right there, soak in it, the more that I confront my flaws, the more that I start to see solutions rather than problems, the more that I start to see how beautiful I really am and how beautiful life can be. Hello world. I've been flirting with starting a social media platform for years, but I couldn't do it until I lost everything. And now that I have nothing to lose, it seems like the perfect time. So here I am, finally, at the start, hoping to share a little bit about myself and doing so impact some people along the way. I feel like there's a value to unapologetic authenticity right now on YouTube. People are tired of seeing pre-programmed, performative versions of people, and they'd rather see something transparent and real. So let me be an experiment. Let me put myself out there on the line. It's probably not good enough, just like the quality of this video, but that's okay. As long as I can touch literally just 1 or 2 people on this planet, that's enough for me. Truth is, I don't want anybody to feel like they're alone, because they're not. The challenges that you're facing are individual and unique to you. Nobody's going to take that away from you. Nobody can take your trauma, but you're not the only one struggling with similar issues, and everyone's journey kind of connects in a certain way. So I want you to know that there are people going through the same thing, which is life. And we can be there for each other. I'm learning, you're learning, we are learning collectively. So yeah, go ahead and hit subscribe if that's cool. And be prepared, because it's not always going to be so serious. I'm going to incorporate things from my favorite TV shows or movies or whatever, animes, because I love analyzing media, but I don't see myself as just a media analyzer. I kind of want to combine self-development with media analysis, and we'll see where that takes me.